Overnight, in the Northeast, another round of torrential rain and flash flooding.
Scared, I'm shaking.
In hard-hit Bucks County, Pennsylvania, some residents forced to immediately evacuate their homes as water poured in.
Everything around my bed and everything was just full of water and puddles, and she was like, we have to get out.
Rescue boats helping people to safety.
I grew up here, man. I've never seen this.
Scenes like this playing out across the region. In Boston, which is already dealing with one of its wettest Julys ever, rescue workers helping stranded drivers in this community just north of the city.
The water's up to the top of the seats.
Cars also trapped in floodwaters in West Milford, New Jersey. Meanwhile, out west, the problem is scorching heat.
That moment when you open the oven and that gust of heat hits you in the face. That is exactly what it feels like.
As blistering summer conditions continue to pack a punch.
It's too hot. It's too hot.
Much needed relief for some may be on the horizon.
Luckily, it's not going to be as hot today as what we had to deal with over the weekend.
The heat dome that's been baking the region for weeks is finally starting to shrink. But for millions of residents and visitors, more dry air and triple-digit forecasts are on the way.
Just try to stay inside and hydrate.
After tying the city's record high of 117 degrees, temperatures are set to top 100 all week in Las Vegas. In California and Oregon, scorching conditions and ongoing droughts are fueling massive wildfires. The Beckworth Complex fire in California spreading by tens of thousands of acres, with blazes impacting air quality hundreds of miles away. Meteorologists say this blanket of smoke hovering over Utah could linger for days as more wild summer weather sets in across the country.
The devastating floods in Western Europe has risen to 150, with more than 1,000 people missing. As Karen Greenbank explains, a village in Germany was swallowed up in a landslide.
Live on TV, this Belgian mayor was describing the devastation when it unfolded around him. The wall of a house collapsing, sending furniture toppling into the floodwaters. Two people then spotted scaling the roof to escape, dropping an animal carrier to safety. All this carnage, the result of 2 months of rainfall in 2 days. Thousands of police, soldiers and emergency workers have now been deployed across Germany and Belgium, dealing with everything from homes on fire to landslides. In this German village, the ground suddenly opened up and swallowed several homes. This Belgian woman saying she's been told her house could collapse.
It was utter devastation. It was heartbreaking.
Among the heartbreak, though, there were scenes of hope. These men smashing through a wall to reach an elderly woman who'd been trapped on the ground floor of her heavily flooded building. Then, German residents snatching an emergency worker to safety, risking their own lives to save his. But hundreds of people are still unaccounted for, in part due to phone networks being down. And in Germany, electricity's been cut to more than 100,000 homes.
Overnight they were upstairs and it was dark because there was no light, no power.
Authorities warn the danger's not over yet as the threat spreads to the Netherlands, Luxembourg and Switzerland.
الآن شرق الرياض.
سبحان الله العظيم، سبحان مغير الأحوال. سبحان الله العظيم، ولعت اللمبات، ولعوا المحلات في خلال دقائق. سبحان الله العظيم، الله يعقبه بالمطر. الله يعقبه بالسيل والمطر. سبحان الله العظيم.
شوف ما عيد بأي شيء. أقل من 10 ثواني. سبحان الله. لا إله إلا الله. شوف. ما عاد بين شيء.
سبحان الله يا العاصفة، درجات طبقات ورا بعض. لا إله إلا الله. اليوم السبت وصلت 17 يوليو شرق. غير الجو إلى ليل. سبحان الله، ليل. سبحان الله، لا إله إلا الله. وبعد دخول العاصفة أظلمت. هذا الطريق. الساعة الحين 4:44. 车厢呢已经到腰了，过腰了。往那边去。外边看到没？外边水更。打电话给俺311，叫俺311报警。现在已经到格尔彭了。啊！这整个大水漫过了，就往尾游水过了。都直接进去了。我。超到翻了你。还是对着路。啊，那个。
The skyline of New York City on Tuesday showcased more than just the hazy shades of summer, as it was filled with smoke that had drifted in from some 3,000 miles away, where dozens of wildfires continue to torch the western U.S. and Canada, led by Oregon's massive bootleg fire. Wildfire smoke prompted an advisory from New York health officials as the region's air quality index hit 118, unhealthy for those with breathing problems. Air quality readings well above 100 were also recorded in Boston, Hartford, and Philadelphia. Across the border, 500 miles northwest of New York City, Toronto too was blanketed by a smoky, smoggy layer. More than 80 wildfires in 13 western states have charred nearly 1.3 million acres. The largest, the bootleg fire, now covers an area about half the size of Rhode Island. It has even created at least 2 of what are referred to as fire clouds, an unusual phenomenon caused by rising smoke. Those clouds can produce their own lightning and essentially cause a fire-generated thunderstorm.